The first thing that's different between LUXEA 6 and LUXEA Pro 7 is the home screen. Once after you double click on the icon to open the software, you will see this welcome screen where you will be able to see all your recent projects at the bottom right. You'll be able to start recordings immediately with the screen recorder that comes with LUXEA. Open a previous project. We'll have some free content, links, and more information about the product on the left, and then just your big button to start a new project. You can choose, before starting your new project, you can choose what aspect ratio you want for your video. We're gonna go full classic, so we're gonna do a 16:9 ratio. So that's the widescreen ratio for video that works on YouTube. Of course, social media is very popular to have vertical videos, and LUXEA will also has the possibility to edit vertical videos. So let's get started. Let's click on New Project, and I'll just reshare my screen. And once you open LUXEA 7, this is what you see. So things that stay practically the same with the previous version is the menus up here. You have transitions, behaviors, filters, effects, overlays, etc. You have your what the media will actually look like to your right, the monitors, timeline to the bottom right, and completely new to LUXEA 7 is the properties panel at the bottom, which is where you're gonna find the most new additions, new features to LUXEA. So another thing that's pretty cool about LUXEA 7 is that it's very flexible in terms of the workspace. You can go crazy and move all your workspace around. You can save your workspace, but then it's very easy to just go back into how things were. So if you find that you want to do things a little bit different, you have the freedom to do that. Another thing that's pretty cool, which is related to undocking panels, is that you can use multiple monitors to edit, which is an incredible advantage if you work with 2 monitors, because you can easily just like look in full screen, whatever you're editing, just put this dock into your right monitor and leave the timeline and LUXEA onto your left monitor. And so that allows for a better experience in video editing. Okay, so just to start showing you guys all of the cool things that LUXEA 7 has, I'm gonna go ahead and import my media. And there you go. I've imported video clips and also audio clips. First, before dragging into my timeline, I'm gonna double click on my first clip. And I want you to tell me if you actually can hear the sound. I want to make sure that no. Okay, so let me just okay, so when you double click on
and then we go
on a clip in your timeline, the top right panel will open in the source tab. So this means is that, well, what this means is that you're going to be looking at the source footage without any edits. And then when you click on program, you will see whatever the timeline, whatever you are editing in that moment. So a new way to import footage from your media library into the timeline, thanks to the source tab, is selecting in and outputs. This is very common in other video editors. So to do that, and as you can see, the beginning of my clip, it's totally overexposed, so I don't want to start there, and then probably here is a good moment to start. And then to add an endpoint, click on the I letter on your keyboard, and then do a selection. We'll just mark it right there with the O. So I for input, O for output, and then you'll be marking your clip, and then all you have to do, just click right here, overwrite, and LUXEA will add it to your timeline. Something that is important to mention is that when you import footage into your timeline, LUXEA will, well, right now it's not asking me again, but it will ask you if you want to change the properties of your timeline to match the characteristics of your footage. And we usually want to say yes, because we want our timeline to have the same frame rate as the videos we've recorded. So another big difference between LUXEA 6 and 7 is the capability of zooming in and out of your timeline. And so to do that, all you have to do is click anywhere on the timestamps right here and move to the right if you want to zoom in, or move to the left if you want to zoom out. Sometimes when you import very long clips onto your timeline, you'll notice that the clips go on, like, it'll look like this, for example. And you'll be like, okay, where does it end, right? So all you have to do is click and just go back like that to the left. And that way you'll be zooming in and out of your timeline. Any questions so far? Just feel free to drop them in the chat. Right, so the way to do that is if you want to add, let's say I want to add this part, and I just mark in and then out, and I'm just going to delete this one for now. So I marked that in and out. I click the override. And then if I want to select other parts, I just go back, double click on my file, select another part, place my cursor at the end of my other clip, go back to the source, and just place it down again. And so now I have two different selections in my timeline of the same clip. There's no maximum length, so LUXEA should be able to handle extremely long videos as well. So, moving on. We'll get into that, Jared. Don't worry. We're just going to go step by step introducing the new features, and then at the end I'll show you how to add text. No worries, Thomas. Now we've arrived at the good part. Another thing that's new is the audio meters to your right. So this wasn't available in LUXEA 6, and as you can see, you can check that your audio levels are either clipping or if they need to be raised. So that's a really good addition. And the good stuff is right here, the properties panel. So this was not in LUXEA 6, and it's a game changer because it allows you to edit your clip in ways that are very customizable. You can do basically zoom in at specific speeds or zoom out or drag your clip to the right or to the left in through keyframes on your timeline. So for example, just to show you an example of that, here I have some boats off in the distance, and I kind of want to do, for the duration of this clip, I want to do a slow zoom out, okay? So how do I do that? Right here on the properties pane, you'll see that you have different characteristics of how you can edit your clip. So you can change the opacity from 100 to 0, which will make your video go dark or transparent. You can change its blend modes, and of course the position through keyframes, and the scale. So as I said, if I wanted to do a slow zoom out, I could increase the scale of my video, for example, to 150, okay? So I'm gonna type 150, click OK. I'm also going to drag this a little bit to the bottom so that I can have my ships kind of like in the center of what I'm editing. And then this is how I want my video to begin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those keyframes right there. And this timeline here, as you can see, if I move it, you will also see that the cursor is also moving on the timeline dock, right? It's moving at the same time. So I have, in the beginning of my video, the position set to -126, minus on the x-axis, on the y-axis is -270, and the scale is 150. So I want my video to end in 100 because that's the normal size. So I'm just going to type, I'm going to move the cursor to closely to the end of my clip and type 100. So now my clip is reduced in its size into 100, and as you can see, it's not fitting perfectly onto my monitor here. So I can just go ahead and move it up by selecting my video, or I could just go ahead and type 0 into the position values, and they will also be marked as a keyframe right here. And now if I drag these keyframes to the end, I'm going to have a slow zoom out on my timeline completely. So just like that. And so that is crucial to the new LUXEA, because you can adapt the scale, you can adapt rotation, you can crop left and right, bottom, all you want. If I wanted to, I could go crazy. I could zoom even more in, then I could zoom out again, and they are all of those values are stored as keyframes. And so I have a lot of freedom in what I can do with my clips. And it looks a little funky, but it's because I'm just doing random adjustments. And this is really cool for photographers. If you guys are photographers and want to create, let's say, a video showcasing your work, you can add really slow zooms of your photos to create movement. And because it works through keyframes, it's extremely flexible. Yes, so rotation is also possible. So let's say, and for your classic rotation, it would be here at the bottom left, rotate Z. So as you can see, if I drag the values left and right, it's moving. And again, if I want to start at 0, I'll go to the keyframe to the right of that value. I'll add the keyframe, and then I'll increase the value of rotation, and then the video will rotate just like that. So the keyframe applies only to this clip, but you can also copy the properties or the effects you've added to your clip and paste it onto other clips, which we'll see in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete my keyframes by selecting them and click on delete all. And I'm going to reset all the values to 0. So that's sorry, if you put the scale onto 0, you won't see anything. It has to be 100. So okay, so now that we've gone over keyframes, what else is there? You can add masks onto your video. So let's say I'm doing some sort of film-related content, or I want to add that kind of overlay to or mask to my clip. Then I can just go to the mask option right here, and I'll be able to add masks. You can add your own as PNG files. So at the bottom left, you'll see this plus button, and you'll be able to upload your own masks. Something I'm really excited about is the possibility of editing audio, but first we're going to cover all that's related to video, and then we'll head into audio. So the speed. I'm going to remove my mask first. Speed. This is a really cool addition that some members have been asking. LUXEA 7 is really awesome. It's probably the easiest one I've seen in terms of speed editing compared to all the competition. So if I wanted to make my clip go faster uniformly, I am selected in, I just select uniform speed, and I can increase the speed of my clip to 2x, 3x, 5x, up to 100x. Okay. So I'll just put 2x, and now my clip is going a little bit more than 2 times faster, 2.25. I can make it slower. I can make it go 0.5 or 0.49. And then I have slow motion. I'll just leave it at 1. Really easy. You can also do reverse speed. When you, let's say my video is going at 5x, the pitch of the sound of the video will be also 5x, and it'll sound like chipmunks. I'm guessing you guys are familiar with that kind of stuff. But then if you click on maintain pitch, then the audio won't change. The pitch of the audio won't change, even though your video is going 2 times faster or 3 times faster. Right, so reverse speed is just playing your clip backwards. So as you can see, and I'm going to do it at 2x just so that it's easier to see that the boats are moving to the right. Right? And if I click on reverse speed, boom, they're going to start moving to the left. Right? So really convenient way to edit the speed of your clips. Another thing you can do with speed is speed ramping. So this means that the speed of your video will move according to the lines you see here. So in montage, if I click montage, it'll first ask me, are you sure you want to continue? Because it'll override whatever we did on the uniform speed options. So I go ahead and click yes, and then I'm going to drag this to the top so you guys can see. On the bottom here, we have the speed adjustments that are happening to my video, and I can also edit these, right? So I can make it's really customizable. So that is speed ramping, really cool. You can make your custom adjustments in editing the speed of your clips. So that's really cool. Then we can also add different behaviors to our clip, meaning different movements in the image. So for example, I could do in the beginning, I could do this called boom in. During my clip, I could do like a pulsate effect. And then at the end, I can do rotate out. So if we click play, you'll see that all of those effects have been added in, during, and out of your video. Okay, so you guys are talking about these guys. So this will mark the in and out of your project, and once you export it, it'll export only what's selected. And to sometimes you'll find yourself that you want to you're gonna want to move the yellow arrow, but then you'll accidentally hit on the red. All you have to do is double click on your timeline and it'll reset. So that's good information. Okay, so let's get into audio editing, which is a really exciting part. First, I'm going to delete the behaviors that I just added. And I am going to add that scale effect with the keyframes that I was telling you guys about, just to make it look more interesting. Okay. Another quick tip, if you are editing videos, and especially if you're editing 4K, you might realize that it plays back a little choppy depending on the capabilities of your own computer. And so you can change the resolution of your preview by clicking this on the top right. I usually edit in a half because that allows me smooth playback, but I also can see the image in good quality. And if you have this in 1.8 or 1.16 and it looks, you know, blurry like it does look there, after you export it, it won't have, it will look in full resolution. So this is just for the preview so that your computer can handle video editing, which is a very intensive operation for your computer. So audio editing. My clip does have an audio track, but it's not really strong enough. So I did download an ocean ambience track from the following site, which I'm going to put in the chat because it's a really cool resource to get sound clips. It's called freesound.org, and all the clips are free, and they have some really cool recordings. So I really encourage you to work with sound because sound is what makes your videos really come to life. So if we play this back now with the added ambience track, and again, like if I select my sound clip, I will also see different possibilities for me to edit its volume or the panning or the pitch on my properties pane right here. So I'm going to increase the level by 10. And let's play it back, see if we can feel more what we're watching. So big difference. Just having ambience makes a big difference. Yes, it's right here, Dana. You can zoom in, zoom out, and then by clicking the zoom to fit or clicking Shift S, your timeline will automatically, the view of your timeline will automatically be fitted. So if I want to split my sound, all I have to do is put my cursor right here, and on the toolbar, you'll see the split, or Control B for a shortcut. And now, no, so this is still sounding. I can totally mute it though. If I right click on my video and click mute, then I will only have my ambience track happening. But you can add a bunch of tracks of audio, and you can have them all sound at the same time, or you can, choose what you want to sound in specific times. Yeah, so for example, this clip has its own sound and I don't want it to sound. All I have to do is I have to right click and I'll see the mute or unmute option right here. Or you can do the Control M, which is the shortcut. So there is unmuted, and now it's muted, and now we can only hear the ambient sound I added. It's a little too loud, and as you can see by the meters to the right, they go red, which means that it's saturating. So I do need to lower the intensity of the video. Yes, Glenn. The way to do that, and thank you, Antoine, is to right click and click on detach audio. So now you can have your audio separate, and that's perfect. That's great. So as I was saying, we got the equalizer on the bottom left. And the awesome thing about this, and you will notice sometimes you're editing interviews or there's someone speaking and you will hear the plosives. Are you guys familiar with what plosives are? Well, when someone is speaking and they pronounce a P or an H or basically P's, you will hear this very bassy kind of sound, which is not nice when you're listening to podcasts or interviews. So that comes really handy when you're breathing pops. Yeah, that comes really handy when you're editing a video. So to get rid of pops, what you'd need to do, because the pops happen in the lower range frequencies of sound, you just have to reduce the low end in your equalizer, and that way you'll get rid of the breath pops. So that is an extremely useful feature that is not available in LUXEA 6. And so as you can see, even in this video, by reducing my lowest two bands, I'm removing a little bit of the sound of the harsh wind or the low, like rumble wind, that I don't necessarily want to add, which also becomes really important when you are mixing ambient sound with music. So I have a music track right here, and I'm just gonna split it and delete this. Sometimes my ambience track will have a lot of bass, And if I want to make room for music, then I can reduce the low end of my ambient sound, and that will bring up the bass sound of the music. So you're starting to equalizing sounds in LUXEA 7, which is amazing. It might have music, it might have like clips of music, but not full songs. A really good resource for free music is YouTube's audio library. If you guys have a YouTube channel and you go to the YouTube studio, you'll see that you can download. There's hundreds of songs. Actually, this song, Vital Whales by Unicorn Heads, I downloaded from the YouTube audio library. So you have to credit, of course, when you use this stuff, but it's free to use. And there's so much music, and there's really good music. Some bad stuff, of course, but a lot of good stuff. So another cool thing about keyframes is that you can work on the volume of your tracks horizontally. So for example, in this ambient track, I have like a peak of wind right here. So what if I wanted to just reduce the volume there? All I have to do is add a keyframe right where I want my sound to start dipping down. So let's see, like right there, and I can see that the peak happens right here. So I move my cursor to where the loud parts are, and then I reduce the level. Just there. Let's reduce it only by 10. Maybe that's too much, but we'll see. Then I can move to the right, and if I want my levels to stay at 10 but then increase, I have to add another keyframe which keeps the volume at -10, move my cursor a little bit more to the right, and add another keyframe with the value of 5, which is what I had before. So by doing this, I have a dip in the volume of the wind. So that becomes really handy. So, and also, this way you can see what you've adjusted. If you click on this little arrow here, you'll see how the volume goes down and then comes right back up. Another cool thing of LUXEA 7, and that someone asked at the beginning of the workshop, is that I can copy certain properties of my video into other videos. So on the first video I'm editing, I have this, my keyframes are changing the scale of the video. And if I wanted to copy and paste the effects, all I have to do is right-click on my original clip, click copy, go to my new clip, right-click, and select Paste Properties. You can also do Ctrl-Alt-V, and what that's going to do is it's going to open the Paste Properties panel. And you can select all of the effects that you want to move from one clip to the other, or just a couple. So this comes really handy if you need to edit multiple clips where you want the same effects to happen. Let's add a transition between my bottom clip and the top clip. We'll split it right here. And maybe 150 is a little bit too much for this one. So I'm just going to reduce the initial keyframe to 120, and I'll finish it again at 100. I'll get to your questions, guys. I'm just finishing this up. So I need to bring this up, or just type 0 on the values, and then I'll have my slow zoom out in between my clips. Let's increase the length of my audio tracks so that they're happening during the entire video. And because I copied the effects of one clip onto the other one, they don't really work. As you can see, the second clip starts below the viewing area of my image. So that's something that you guys are going to have to adjust. That's better. Increase the audio. You mean the audio clips? You just put your mouse at the end of your clip and you drag it either left or right. Okay, let's see. Questions. Yes, Bradley. So if you're, for example, one way to go about that, if your audio only is on the left channel, what you can do is you can, for example, move the balance of your clip. If it's fully, let's say, on the left, on your left ear, then the balance option here in the properties pane, you move it fully to the right, and it should be or not fully to the right, but a little bit to the right, and you're going to be able to center the audio that way. Good to know, Glenn. Yeah, that's, I mean, again, like keyframing is what really makes a big difference, because it really allows you to work with levels in a way that's very organic and works really well horizontally throughout your video. Diana, if you have Photo Studio Ultimate, no, that's a separate product. That's a photo editor. If you have the Ultimate Pack, then LUXEA does come. The Ultimate Pack incorporates also the Mac product and video converter. So it's the best value would be, if you want photo editing and video editing, would be to get the Ultimate Pack. Okay, so we've covered basically all of the new features in LUXEA. I know it's a lot, and we will do more video editing workshops. I know that there's a bunch of questions, and we do have full beginners here, and I want to make sure that you guys do get a good video editing experience and lessons. So we'll definitely have another workshop where we will do a full workflow. But as you can see, we already have 2 clips. We have 2 tracks of audio. Someone asked about text or adding text. So to do that, I can just go up here and drag a text clip onto my timeline. Let's just add Victoria at the end. And here is where you, again, in the properties pane is where you incorporate the what you want to write. So I'll just type Victoria, and you can change the font. You can change the size. Yeah, I know. I hope you guys, you know, the expectations are fulfilled, because it really is a game changer compared to LUXEA 6. And that's why it's called LUXEA Pro, because it's really a professional video editor that is easy to use. So I have my Victoria text right there. I'll just choose Calibri for now. And you can add shadow, so it pops more from the background, and you can add transitions. So a fade in, for example, and a fade out. text can be animated. For example, if you select your text clip and you go to video, you will see the same options that we were able to see in the video files or the video clips. And so you can increase its size, you can rotate. So we can select a keyframe, mark it 0, and then do a big rotation of our text. Let's say like 360. And we'll have our text move animated. Again, keyframes. The key to doing anything you want in LUXEA 7 is keyframing. So that's why it's such a big deal. Okay, answering more questions. PC requirements for LUXEA are for LUXEA 7 are on the PD page. Right now we have a pre-sale of the product, so you can find information on our website. And yes, there is a free trial of LUXEA 7, the same as how it works with the AC/DC software like Ultimate or Pro. It's a fully functional 30-day trial, and then you can either decide to purchase the product or not. It'll be releasing very soon, so of course we'll keep you guys updated. And Diana, we will have, if you are subscribed to our email newsletters, then you will get the upgrade links to upgrade to LUXEA 7. But in the meantime, just go to acdc.com and go to LUXEA, and you'll be able to access the pre-sale. That's really cool that you say that, Antoine. DaVinci Resolve is of course a really good program, incredibly hard to use. So I'm glad that you can see the value in LUXEA 7. Gary, yes, the filters are currently the same. Maybe color fence wasn't added in LUXEA 6. I would have to double check that. But you can do color paths, you can add color LUTs, you can do chroma key, which is like using a green screen. I did a green screen tutorial using LUXEA 6. That's available on YouTube. So, and maybe I'll do another one for LUXEA 7. I'm going to be creating a bunch of tutorials for LUXEA 7 because it's a great product, and I want to make sure that everyone is able to use it to its fullest capabilities. To change timestamp. I'm not sure if I follow you, Rick, what you mean by changing timestamps after editing. Thanks for joining, Joel. Yeah, we're almost done. We have 5 more minutes, and I do want to go over 2 more things. So I'm going to answer Dana's question. And captions, yes, you can add captions right here. You can actually import CRT files, which will, if you know what those are like the kind of like the standard files for captioning, or you can simply just start adding captions manually right here. Jared, you can increase the resolution of original clips, definitely. You just have to import your footage and increase the size of it. Oh, I see what you mean, Rick. I'm not sure I'm pretty sure that once you export your video, it won't have the information. It will only have the information of when you exported it. So de nada, Jesus. Thank you for joining. Wow, you guys have a lot of questions. I mean, it makes me really happy because there's a lot of interest. So I think we're gonna have to do this again soon so that we can actually answer all of your guys' questions. Feel free to, if you're still curious about something, you can send me a message on our photo film community, and I'll do my best to answer all of your guys' questions. So to finish up, change the exposure. Yeah, of course. So if you go to filters, if I'm not mistaken, you will see the light EQ right here. So with light EQ, you can you can increase the exposure, reduce the exposure, darken, just like how it works in Photo Studio. Okay, so as I was saying, you can also activate the screen recorder. LUXEA's screen recorder comes free with LUXEA 7, which is a great addition. You can record the sound of your computer, but also the sound of your microphone. And it has a bunch of new parameters that you can choose in the options, like for it to, like an auto stop to stop recording at a specific time. And then you can even shut down your computer after recording, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so this is a revamped screen recorder that comes free, which is incredible addition. And content packs. Are you guys, I want to know if the users of LUXEA 6, do you guys use content packs? Right, so you will find your content packs right here on the project to the left. And we made it a lot easier to get more. So to do that, when you download LUXEA 7, you won't see the contents packs here. You can import the ones that you already have as media files, but if you go to Help, the Help tab, you'll click on Get Content Packs, and let me know if you guys are seeing this screen, the new screen that popped up. It might still be showing the other screen. Did the content pack page appear? Okay. Let me see. New share. There we go. Here. So now you have access to content packs right in LUXEA, which is really cool. You can watch the preview of them and even download straight right here. And it'll install automatically. So if I go back to LUXEA, you'll see that I have the blooper pack I just downloaded right here. The recording function. So if you're in media, right there, record. That will open LUXEA. And when you record something, you can choose to, after recording something, it'll automatically be imported onto your project media folder. Yeah, the content packs are free. So that's a pretty cool addition. Let me just show you how they look. Like if I wanted to, I mean, it would be a little funny because why would we want to add one of these onto this nice panoramic view of the ocean? But they work just like that. So you incorporate an image just like that, and then like all the other clips, like if you see here, I'm adjusting the size of the image, and on the bottom left, the parameters are changing. So everything that I can do with the video clips, I can also do with images. So to finish off, once you're done with your project, this is the export function. You can choose to save into your computer, or you could upload straight to YouTube or Vimeo, or choose another device. The device would be, you can choose, certain settings that apply for phones or for TVs. And you can choose the settings of your export. Choose the frame rate, the byte rate, which is really important, and the audio. And then you just put a name. We'll just do test and click on export. So, okay. Wow, that was a lot of information. Thank you guys for staying in the workshop. There's a bunch of more stuff to cover, and as I said, I'd be happy to make other video editing tutorials. I have done some in the past. I did one on LUXEA 6, which you can find in our community. You can also find on our YouTube channel, but I'll make sure I'll create a lot of tutorials for you guys so that we can all explore the video editing world. Video is one of my passions, and teaching it is really rewarding. So thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a message through our community.